Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Recently, I took Zipair round trip in July, and I wanted to share with you if Zipair is still worth it in 2023. And if you are thinking whether you should check in your luggage or not, just to save some money, this video is for you. I'll break down the video into two sections. Number one, whether you should check in your luggage or not. And number two, whether Zipair is still worth it. To get started, I'm happy this airline exists. For the most part, you can do a round-trip flight from San Jose to Tokyo Narita Airport for roughly $1,100 to $1,200, depending on the options you choose, like checking in luggages, in-flight meal, or selecting a seat in advance. With all the options, it's still much cheaper than taking other airlines that cost around $2,200 round trip from San Jose or SFO to Tokyo round trip. Now let's dive right into the topic of whether you should check in your luggage, and I'll share my experience traveling with Zipair recently in July. When Zipair first opened the hub in San Jose to fly to Narita, Japan, the flight was cheap, as low as $600 round trip. Now fast forward to now, it's more expensive, roughly $1,100 round trip. They offered you a package that lets you choose your seat in advance, buy a meal, or buy the option to check in your luggage. Or you can buy the options individually, like skipping the check-in luggage and only selecting a seat in advance, or vice versa. Back then, from my own experience, they did weigh my check-in luggage at the counter. The value package that we bought comes with 32 kg for check-in luggage, and if you exceed the limit, you either pay more money at the counter or you shift your stuff from one luggage to another to make it less than the weight limit. Since we had to pay to check in a luggage, a lot of us, including myself, would try to do carry-on instead of checking in all the luggages to save some money. From my experience flying with other airlines like Alaska, United, JAL, Korean Airlines, Air Canada, Cathay Pacific, they don't weigh your carry-on luggage. However, now, in July 2023, not only does Zipair weigh your check-in luggage, they also weigh your carry-on luggage, including your backpack, and I learned it the hard way. They weigh my carry-on luggage in Japan. On my way back to the US, I was so surprised. We know that from their website, they say you can take 2 bags per person, and the weight limit is 7 kg, and that's roughly 14 pounds, which is not much. If you have a bigger laptop, it's already like 5 pounds. So I did buy a value package, and my check-in luggage is 30 kg, and the weight limit is 32 kg. I travel in a group of 4, and they asked me to put all the luggage to the scale, but one at a time. I had 3 carry-on luggages, and they were something like 6 kg, 8 kg, and 9 kg. So one of them meets the weight limit, but the 2 exceed the limit by 1 kg and 2 kg respectively. So I go, well, I have 4 people, but I only have 3 carry-on. If I take 7 kg times 4, that's 28 kg limit for a group of 4. But my total carry-on luggage is only 23 kg, so it's still 5 kg less than the total 28 kg weight limit. Well, then guess what the Zipair staff said? She goes, okay, put all your bags, including your backpack, your purse, and the stuffy animals that your kids are holding to the scale. And I was like, what? It's the first time any airline would weigh my backpack and my kids' stuffy animals. But I understand they were trying to follow their company's policy, which is fine. So that's fine. That's okay. So we put everything like a backpack, purse, and stuffy animals to the scale. And guess what? The total was 40 kg. Then they go, well, 40 kg is more than 20 kg. So you are still 12 kg higher than limit. So even if you move your stuff from your carry-on luggage to the check-in luggage, which you still have 2 kg budget, you're still 10 kg above the limit. And I was like, what? Okay, so what do you want me to do? She goes, well, you have 2 options. Number 1, you check in your carry-on luggage, or 2, you throw away your stuff. Throw away my stuff? That doesn't seem like an option, right? So, what they offer is check in 1 carry-on luggage, and it costs 6,500 yen. which is about 46 USD, but then only for 14 kilogram. Now remember, if you buy the check-in luggage in advance, they charge you $50 for 32 kilogram. Now at the counter, they charge you 6,500 yen, which is roughly $46, but for only 14 kilograms. So at the counter, the price you pay to check in a small luggage is definitely roughly the same price as you would check in advance for a check-in luggage, but you definitely pay a lot more in reality, because when you pay at the counter, you only get 14 kilogram instead of 32 kilogram. So imagine if you're like 22 kilogram above the weight limit, then you have to check in two luggage, right? So that's like 6,500 yen times 2. But obviously I didn't have a choice, right? At least I think I don't have a choice, so I just pay for it, give them my credit card, and they charge me 6,500 yen, which turns out to be roughly $46. After that, they'll ask you to wrap your carry-on luggage with like a little Zipair sticker. Finally, I don't know why they weigh your carry-on luggage now, but not 6 months ago. I guess, yes, they want my money. That's, I guess, what business is all about. Yes, sure do. In the end, I paid $50 more than I planned. Is it a deal breaker? No, $50 more is still much cheaper than flying with ANA or JAL to Japan. But to be honest, it was a bit stressful to have to deal with all this, weighing your backpack, your purse, and stuffy animals at the check-in counter. That said, don't expect the Zipair cabin to be very clean though. So this time, the flight probably 6 or 7 months old, even though they were brand new flight. They're cheaper for a reason. Midway through a flight, the soap in the toilet ran out, and they don't refill. The toilet was very wet, and nobody wiped it, cleaned it. Nobody. The storage where you put your carry-on luggage is dirty with scrub marks. They don't clean it. The movies are the same from 6 months ago. I expect like one new movie, but there was none. The Wi-Fi works, but the speed is also so slow, like a dial-up internet speed. However, if you bring your own hand sanitizer, download movies in advance to your iPad, and bring your own snacks, you're fine, right? These are not an issue, right? But you're also adding weight to your backpack, and they might charge you. The takeaway is, if you are thinking about doing any carry-on luggage to save some money, you might want to plan in advance. Weigh your backpack with your iPad, your laptop, with your kids' toys, charger, or even the Ichiran ramen that you plan to buy in Japan and take it home as a souvenir. If your backpack and carry-on luggage is going to be more than 7 kilogram, just buy one 32 kilogram check-in luggage in advance, or additional one. It'll save you a bit of money, but plenty of mental stress at the check-in counter. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.